Hi YouTube, this is Georgia, and this is my vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss journey. I'm making video number 2, although I thought I would never make it because after watching video 1, I was a little bit overcritical with myself. I started judging the way I moved my lips, the way I looked, my hair, my makeup, anyways. But that's how it is. But I'm making video number 2 because the point is not to sit here and judge. The point is to sit here and learn through this experience. As I mentioned in my first video, I am going to be recording a couple of videos before my surgery, which is for December 6th, 2019. And the idea of recording these videos is so I know, and maybe you out there know, how it feels when before you go in it, your fears, your thoughts, what you think you know, but eventually will be different once you have the surgery. Uh, Again, it's because a lot of people out there have started recording themselves after the fact, after they've had the surgery. I wanted to make a few videos beforehand and talk about myself and what I think and how I feel about going into this. Now, in this video, I want to talk about my stats. That means like my height, my weight, how I got to this point, the fact that I've been overweight almost all of my life, and how it has affected me, not only physically but mentally as well. I am going to be 36 years old this December, so December 2019. I've been married since 2017 to my husband, and we've been together since 2005. So it took a while to say I do. We're both overweight, and since we started this relationship, we both have slowly started gaining weight in the relationship. I'm not blaming my relationship on gaining my weight, but the fact that I am in a serious relationship with someone else that has weight problems, it's not helping in terms of you doesn't bother you as much the fact that you keep gaining weight, and when you're both gaining weight and it's creeping up on you, it can get out of control before you know it. We don't have kids, and part of the reason I'm going through surgery is because I would like to have kids, but at my current weight, which is almost 300 pounds, it's not safe to have kids. But also at this weight, I have managed to destroy my cycle, so I can't get pregnant. I mean, it's not like we've actively tried to get pregnant, but I wouldn't want to bring a kid or get pregnant at this weight with this many health problems. I do understand actually a lot about biology and the human body. I have a degree in chemistry. So I understand macronutrients, micronutrients, what happens when you eat a lot, how you store the fat, why you store the fat, and how it's affecting your overall health. So no excuses there. I understand nutrition. I understand my body. I understand what's going on, and I understand why I've been gaining the weight. So it's not one of those people's like, I don't understand. I don't eat that much. Yeah, I don't eat as much for a 300-pound person, but I do eat more than the average person. And I'll explain why I'm saying I don't eat as much as a 300-pound person. I have a lot of hormonal issues right now that are not helping with the weight loss. I am an entrepreneur. We are running a family business, and I'm also trying to start a side business of my own on the side. Side business on the side. Anyways, so I do spend most of my day working, but it's not moving a lot. I do sit a lot. And when I come home, I'm really tired. All I want to do is just sit in front of the TV and basically do nothing, just munch on something as well. I think that's the downfall. That's where when I started working for myself and driving, the fact that I started driving, I started gaining a lot of weight as well because I don't move as much. I don't take the subway or the bus. I don't walk as much anymore. And that I'm coming home pretty late. By the time I cook, I clean. I just want to sit in front of the TV with a snack. And the last couple of years, that's my routine, basically sitting in front of the TV eating. I want to say that in these videos, I'm going to be mentioning some words that some people might find offensive, or how could you call yourself that? I am fat. I know that. So the words obese, fat, chubby, overweight, whatever I'm going to be using. If you find it offensive, I'm sorry. It is sensitive for me too. Whenever I hear someone say those words, it bothers me. So yeah, you're going to hear that a lot in these videos. I've been struggling with my weight since the age of 8. That's when I started being the fat kid at school. Will that make it grade 2 or 3? So kindergarten, I was average weight. Then at some point, grade 1 or 2, I started gaining weight. But by grade 3, I was the fat kid at school. And I've been the fat kid at school ever since. I don't remember if there was someone bigger than me, especially in high school years. Maybe, but I've always been like one of the biggest kids at school. Now, I've been lucky at the same time because I didn't get a lot of bullying for being the fat girl. Again, I'm calling myself the fat girl. Maybe sometimes people will talk behind my back and then I would know and like they will laugh or whatever. That happened mostly last years of high school. I don't know, I guess people started getting insecurities about themselves and then they would make fun of me behind my back. I don't know if it bothered me, maybe it has, but it never really stopped me from being social, having friends, going out. I was always outgoing. I wouldn't hide in my shell, unlike nowadays, which we'll get to that later. So some of my stats, the real shock came when I was 15 and I went in for a doctor's appointment, like a regular checkup, and they weigh me. I was 15 years old. My height was 1.5 meters, which means about 5 feet. And I was 80 kilograms, which is in pounds 176. I've heard like higher weights at that height. Nevertheless, it was a shock for me. It was a shock for my family. Oh my God, how could you get to 80 kilograms? Like, you're big, you have to do something about it. So I did go to a nutritionist and I started moving more. Although I have to say, I grew up in Greece and we did walk everywhere. So I would walk quite a bit. More than the average kid in North America. Right now I'm in Canada, just to compare. So we walk everywhere. I would go out with my friends. I would walk to school, walk to touring schools. So there was some movement, but I do eat a lot. And the reason why I ate a lot at that time is like I have a passion for cooking, and I would cook and eat, and I would cook for my family or my sisters, and I would cook for myself, and I would eat all the goodness that I made. Now, at 16, I started having feminine problems, so problems with my cycle. And I went to a gynecologist. They put me on the pill to regulate my cycle. Now, the pill doesn't help with weight loss. If anything, it can make you gain some more weight. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the pill. I'm just saying for an already overweight person, going on the pill doesn't help. So I started gaining even more weight. I started getting more, my family was going through some hard times. I can find a million excuses why I gained weight. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to give you an idea that it's not as simple as like, oh, I was eating and I was gaining weight. Yes, I was eating and I was gaining weight, but also I was going through a lot at that time. So my weight was not my priority. There were other things that were happening in my life that took priority. I started gaining weight. Now we're coming to the age of about 18. That's when I moved to Canada. And it was a cultural shock in the beginning. I didn't have my friends. I had just finished high school in Greece. I had to go back in school here, back to high school here, do 2 grades because of my English. So it brought me back. Hopefully my English is a little better now and you can understand what I'm saying. And I didn't have a lot of friends here. It was hard to assimilate. I stayed home a lot, watched a lot of TV. So I went from a person who was relatively busy and active and outgoing to someone that was basically in the house all the time, eating bad food. Now, I'm not blaming the country. I'm mostly blaming our financial situation at the time. And yes, when you don't have a lot of money, you can afford low quality foods. That means processed cheese, bologna. Oh my, I would never want to have bologna in my life ever again. We used to have a lot of it at that time in our lives. Remember, we used to go to school and we used to make processed cheese and bologna sandwiches on white bread. I don't want to name the brand, but it's like the worst thing you can have for lunch. That's all my mom could afford at the time, so that's what we used to eat. So yeah, bad food, high processed food as well, high sugar, really bad, and not going out as much as I was used to. I started gaining even more weight, and that brings us at the age of 18. I reached my current height, which is 1.64 meters or 5'4" in feet, and I was 120 kilograms or otherwise 264 in pounds. Now that was the highest I had been in my teens. When I turned 19, I got into university, and there was a love interest. Ooh. But I don't think that was the big thing. I just got to university. I started moving more, walking from class to class. I made some friends. I was more aware of my looks. Up until that point, like everyone was complimenting my sister because my sister was always like average weight on like thin. And everyone was like, oh, she's the pretty one, I'm the smart one, which is not true because she's really smart and I am not that ugly. I'm like, I'm not ugly at all. I think I'm decent looking even though I'm overweight. I just think people can be very, very mean and they're not thoughtful. When you say something like this, yes, you're insulting my looks, but you're also insulting someone else's brains. And both my sisters are very, very smart. I don't know, I think we have some brains in our heads and we're all educated. And that was an unfair judgment. But it sits with you, resonates with you. Like for her, she always probably has to prove herself of her intelligence. And for me, I always have to think, oh, does this person think I'm okay looking? Not so much romantically, but I feel when someone meets me, the first thing they think is like, oh, she's overweight and that's that. Or she's like overweight and lazy. That's another stereotype of overweight people, that we're lazy or not smart, or that we don't have drive. A lot of us do have drive. It's not like something that people should generalize. We do try. Sometimes we don't succeed, especially with our weight. That's why we're overweight. Nevertheless, I got to university. I started being more aware of my looks. I became almost anorexic, to be honest. I lost a lot of weight in a very short period of time. So by my 21st birthday, I was down to 170 pounds. So I lost almost 100 pounds in 2 years. that came with a price. I started fainting. Sometimes I would forget to eat. I was really, really busy. I was struggling with keeping up with workload. I was working three part-time jobs. Sorry. I was working three part-time jobs. I was in university studying chemistry of all things. Uh, Sometimes I had classes 8:30 in the morning in the same day. My last class will be at 10:30 at night. So I would forget to eat. Now, some people out there might be like, how could a fat person forget to eat? A fat person could forget to eat when you're so busy. You forget to eat and drink water when you're running from class to class. Or sometimes I would go to school, go to my part-time job, leave, go back to school, finish school, go to my night job. And that was happening for about a year and a half of my life. So in second year university, I started fainting a lot. I missed a lot of classes. I wasn't doing well in school. I couldn't keep up with anything. That year, I think I must have fainted. My second year university, I must have fainted at least 30 times. It was scary. I was fainting in public places and then I would pee myself. I know, TMI. But yeah, it was tough. That's when I decided to quit school and maybe get a full-time job. Then I started gaining some weight. So when I was around 22, that's when I met my husband now, then boyfriend. I was a little under 200 pounds, but I was doing better in terms of like I wasn't fainting. I was eating enough and drinking enough water. I was hospitalized a lot of times from dehydration and low blood sugar. The doctors couldn't believe that someone at my weight was actually going in for not eating and dehydrated. Anyways, that brings us at 22, 23. I'm around 200 pounds. I meet my then boyfriend. I get a full-time job. Life happens. And then weight slowly started creeping up on me every year. So every year I would gain like 5 pounds, 10 pounds. In terms of my life, like, yeah, sometimes I would get depressed. Sometimes I would feel better. I was still very outgoing most of my 20s. Like, we would party a lot. When I say party a lot, I wasn't getting drunk every weekend or anything, but we would go out dancing, walks for coffees with my friends. We'll start going out for like Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was fun. Another reason I'm mentioning this is because I want to show that being overweight never stopped me from making friends and being outgoing and getting out there. Yes, in the back of my mind, I always think, oh, how does this person think of me or how do they see me? But it still doesn't stop me from going out there in my 20s. My 30s is a different story. So this entire time I've been like going on diets and then stopping the diet and going to the gym and stopping the gym and working out at home and doing workout videos. I even have like the Beachbody program. And yes, I was losing or looking better, but then I would be gaining. Overall, in my entire 20s, up until I got about 30 years old, I gained a lot of weight. I got married in 2017. I was 260 pounds when I got married. I'm not proud of it, but I had lost some weight to go to 260. So in 2017, that makes me 33, 34 years old. I dropped down to 260 from 280. And then once we got married, so I dropped those 20 pounds with the keto diet. So I've tried that too, in case someone wants to recommend it. but it's a lifelong commitment. Like if you stop the keto diet, the weight comes back like this. I also feel I got comfortable because my wedding day was over, the day that I'm supposed to look all pretty and stuff. So I kind of let myself go. And then, like I said, I started having my own business with a family, and doing the side business that I'm starting now. Not moving a lot. The weight kept creeping up. The thing though is that now that I'm in my mid 30s and at this weight, there's another issue. First of all, yes, I started having health issues again with my cycle, and it has been very tough. If you're a woman and you know what it's like to be on your period, imagine being that for 3 months at a time. Not fun, not easy, painful, gross. You constantly feel dirty. You constantly feel you don't want to do anything. I have mood swings. I get angry, easily agitated. It's been hard. I'm gonna say it. Also, being at this weight, it's hard to feel pretty. It shouldn't matter that I want to feel pretty. Like, I don't feel like I'm disgusting, although sometimes I do feel I'm disgusting. But overall not. It's just hard. You go out there sometimes and I feel that people, the first thing they think is that. Or they won't take me seriously because I'm at this weight. Maybe people judge the fact as like, how could this person be successful when they can't even lose the weight? All these thoughts in your head mess up with you, like, badly. And it's something that is not helping with the weight loss. If anything, it makes it worse because you don't feel motivated to do anything. You want to hide in a corner, and sometimes when you hide in a corner, you want to eat something too. And then, like, before you know it, you're like 300 pounds, 36 years old, and you don't know what to do to make things better. Now, I say my weight, and I'm pretty open about it. I don't like to advertise it. But if I'm asked, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't wanna, like, yeah, I'm 300 pounds, and it's tough. It's hard. Life is hard at 300 pounds. I don't know how people have more. I can see how I could, from this point, if I don't have the surgery, I can see myself very easily reaching higher weights than this, because there's nothing right now. I feel like people have done it. People have reached this weight and they've lost it through exercise and dieting. I know right now, the way I am, the way I feel, the way my brain is working at this moment in my life, I can't see myself doing this. And that's why the surgery. Also, why the surgery is because I've tried since 8 years old to lose weight. I haven't been successful. People have been successful. I haven't. Also, I feel as many times as I have tried, that's how many times I've also failed. And we're talking about a lot of times. I remember I was 10 years old, 12, even at 15 or 16, every summer I will tell myself, Georgia, this is the summer where we lose the weight. This is the summer where you're going to go back in September. Everybody's going to be like, wow, look at her. She lost the weight. It never happened. It was never wow. Even if I lost some weight, it was never a wow. It was always, I'm still fat. And then I would give up on myself. Or something else would come up that was more important than me losing weight. Like my parents getting a divorce, moving to Canada, not having money to survive, having to work 3 jobs, having to educate myself, go back to school in my 30s. I went back to school in my 30s and I finished my degree because I dropped out in my 20s. All these things come together to create a situation where this person right here has tried so many times to lose the weight and has failed that many times. Now, why would the surgery work? I feel the surgery will give me some extra help. No matter how you see it, when you go into surgery, especially for weight loss surgery, you do lose weight in the beginning. You don't lose all of your weight, but you will lose a good chunk of your weight just from going through the surgery process. You can't eat in the beginning. Then it's a matter of discipline. I do feel for myself, if I lose a large amount of the weight that I have to lose in the beginning, it will give me the incentive to be like, okay, we can't go back now. We're at this point, we're going to try our best to keep it that way or lower. Having a smaller stomach and not be as hungry, because right now I'm at the point where I constantly feel hungry. I have room in my stomach to constantly feel the hunger. Sometimes we eat dinner and after like half an hour I still feel hungry, or that I want to eat more, or I'm able to eat as much as like my husband, who's also overweight, but he's also a guy, but I can eat as much as he can, and that's not right. So I do feel shrinking the stomach, not being able to eat certain foods for that period, for like 2-3 months that it will last to heal the stomach, it will give me a great advantage over the last times that I have tried to lose the weight. I also realize, and I do understand, there's a high chance of regain after surgery. And some people have failed miserably and they've regained the entire weight. I do pray and I do hope that it will have the discipline to not gain the weight back. But I am aware that there is a chance. Now, one more thing I want to mention is that if I lose a certain amount of weight, I will start feeling better about myself and I will be able to be as active as I was in the past. Because right now, as I mentioned before, I'm at a place where I constantly want to hide myself. I don't want to go out there. I don't want to. The other day we went out for dinner with my family and I feel ashamed going to a restaurant because, oh my God, like the fat girl's gonna eat. Or I feel ashamed having lunch sometimes because the fat girl's eating again. This is in my head. I'm not blaming anyone for it, but it's my reality. My reality is that every time I eat, I shame myself, yet I still do it. I am constantly hungry. I constantly feel bad. Every time I eat, I feel bad. If I don't eat, I feel bad. There's a no-win situation here. So, bottom line is, I'm hoping that the surgery will help, and that's why I'm doing it. Also, I am aware of the risks. I'm aware of the failures. I know there are other ways, but this is how I feel I'm gonna do it. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you subscribe to my channel and if you want to see more of these videos. I will try to make more videos before the surgery where I talk about myself and my thoughts on why I think I want to do this. And we'll compare them with like videos after the surgery, whether or not I'm successful or not. Or we're going to see it together here. These videos are not going to go on till after my surgery, so it will take some time to edit them, but also I feel it's going to be more interesting if people see them closer together so you can see the change or the how I change mentally and physically as well, closer together, rather than you having to wait 6 months to see what's gonna happen. Yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting and interesting, this journey. Stick with me if you want. Subscribe to my channel. My name is Georgia. This is my vertical gastrectomy weight loss journey. And I hope it's gonna be a successful one. Thank you for watching.